So over this past year, I have made countless cinematic videos, and after each cinematic video, I personally have felt like my skills have grown quite substantially. And as my skills continue to grow and grow, I find that it's easier for me to make cinematic videos. And today I thought I'd make a video for those who might be struggling making their cinematic videos or who have never made a cinematic video. And I thought I'd make a video giving you guys 3 incredibly important tips that I have learned over the course of my time making cinematic videos that might help you guys out. Tip number 1 is location and feeling. Now, I personally feel as if this is the most important tip on this list. This is your why to your what. Why are you making this video? And what do you want your audience to feel when viewing this video? It's incredibly important that your location always matches the feeling of your video, and vice versa. Personally, when I'm ever in the mood to make a cinematic video, I always take a day to go out and scout for locations and walk around a nature reserve and jot down what I'm feeling. And whenever I'm feeling, I try and make that as present as I can in my videos. And before I even start shooting, I look for music and sound effects of things that I saw, and then when I get all those sound effects, that's when I go out and I shoot my cinematic video. It's incredibly important to get that feeling down before you start shooting and to have that location meet that feeling. Now, you're never going to shoot a cinematic video in an abandoned house when it's overcast and raining and have Happy Fungo music over it. I mean, you can. It's Halloween season. It might be a little bit creepy, but other than that, why? Tip number 2 is settings. Now, I won't lie, this is one that I personally have trouble with remembering. I'm always getting my settings wrong, which is why I want to make this a tip for you guys, so that you guys are better than me, but also so that I can remember and look back on this own video. So, it's a win-win for both of us. In my opinion, the most important setting to figure out, and this is a setting that can make or completely break your whole video, and that is white balance. You have to figure out your white balance. What I would do is personally use one of the presets that they have on your camera. They have anything for cloudy weather, the type of lights you have set up, to sunny weather. They have a whole lot of really cool presets on your camera to match the white balance to what you see on your location. And if you are skilled enough to use custom white balance, by all means, use it. Something that I do when I'm ever out on location and shooting is that I always take a white piece of paper and I always point it at what I'm about to start filming, and I take a photo of that piece of paper on my location and I use that photo as my custom white balance, and it just makes sure that everything that I shoot that day, all the white balance is consistent throughout. And for the love of God, never ever use auto white balance. Believe me, never use auto white balance. I remember when I first got my camera, I used auto white balance like all the time. And what I noticed was whenever I was out shooting, especially in overcast or like cloudy weather, oh, it's so bad. Whenever I'm out shooting, I noticed that all my videos in terms of white balance never matched and nothing looked consistent, and it was just not good whatsoever. So my recommendation is to just use one of the presets on your camera. They are really good, and if you are skilled enough, please, by all means, customize your own white balance. Another big setting to take a look at when shooting is your frame rate and shutter speed. And my God, this is one that I forget all the time, and it's really bad. If you are shooting at 24 frames per second, your shutter speed needs to be at 1/50. And if you are shooting at 60 frames per second, your shutter speed needs to be 1/120. This is incredibly important, especially if you are shooting in slow motion. If you are shooting in slow motion at 60 frames per second and using a shutter speed of 1/50, you're going to get a whole lot of motion blur. It's going to look clunky, especially if you slow it down. It's not going to look right. It's not going to be that smooth kind of motion that you want when you're shooting in slow motion. However, when you have 60 frames per second and your shutter speed is at 1/120 and you slow it down, it's going to go smoothly and it's going to look really, really nice. So just remember, whatever your frame rate is, your shutter speed needs to always be double that. And the final tip is plan your shots. Planning your shots can be incredibly beneficial, especially when you want to do a cool transition. You have that planned out. You've already utilized all the other tips. You have your settings correct. You scouted out your location and you want to do this transition. You know where to go. That way you have that planned and you're not really doing it on the spot. You have that plan to follow now. Although there's been countless times where I've been out on location shooting and I just got the idea right on the spot and it worked out even better than what I originally had planned, which is why I think this tip is kind of up for grabs. If writing things down and planning things ahead of time is your thing, then by all means, utilize this tip. This tip personally helps me out. This is what I've been using for all of my cinematics ever since my very first one, and it's been helping me out. But if this is not the kind of style that you like and you like just coming up with your ideas on location, then by all means go ahead. But I still think that this is an incredibly important tip that might benefit many of you guys. But those are my 3 tips for making better cinematic videos. I really hope this video helps you guys out. I personally use these tips all the time and they have really been benefiting me. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while and I really, really hope that these tips help you guys out. And if you guys want to see a part 2, drop a like and let me know in the comments below. If you guys want more tips, I am more than willing to make another video for you guys, give you guys more tips and stuff for cinematic videos or videos in general. And if you guys really want, I can even go more in depth in terms of editing and stuff. But let me know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace, peace.